Okay, I'm live. What's up, gang? It's been a few days since I made a video. Got a couple of things on my mind I wanted to talk about. One, just a minor personal thing that, I'm just curious about. Maybe one of you guys can help me with it in the comments section. Just tell me why people are so fascinated with Great Britain's royal family. Saw this bunch of stuff on TV today and the evening news and the evening entertainment shows about, was it Harry and Markle and their interview with Oprah. Guys, okay, look, I get it. There are some of you out there who are fascinated with the royal family, and that's why I'm asking, what is the fascination? Our founding fathers fought a war to get away from this idea of royalty. And yet there are so many Americans who seem eaten up with it, just love it, and can't get enough of it. And maybe I'm in the minority on this one. I don't know, but I just don't understand it. So if you can help me understand it, please do. I'd be interested in finding out why it's such a big deal for so many people. But anyway, the big issue on my mind is race. And no, I don't mean race like the Daytona 500. I mean race like your skin color and my skin color. And why is that a big deal, you might ask? Well, because it seems to be so much in the news lately, and in particular today on the WTVR CBS 6 News Facebook page, they have an article or a posting about 2 arrested in deadly I-85 double shooting. All right, and it's talking about 2 young black men who were arrested for shooting a guy in the neck and killing him as the guy was giving them a ride. He did something nice for him. He was giving him a ride somewhere, and they shot and killed him. Now, there was a woman in the car with the man who they shot as well, but apparently she survived. And these 2 guys took off on foot. All right, so WTVR posted about it. And, of course, there are some people who post about, what dirtbags these guys are and what they hope will happen to them, et cetera, et cetera. And one lady in particular posted about how, Black Lives Matter doesn't really seem to care about black lives when it comes to black people killing each other. Well, oh my God. The floodgates opened. I mean, she's every kind of racist in the world. And as you and I are as well, because we dare ask questions. See, this is something else that fascinates me about liberals and Democrats and progressives and the usual suspects. They'll tell you we should have an open and frank dialogue about race in this country. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm cool with that. Let's do it. I'm all for it. I've never had a problem talking to people about race issues. And I've told you before that when I've done that, and if it's a one-on-one conversation in particular, you find out that you have more in common with each other than you think you do, that things aren't really as bad as you thought they were. It's when you get these groups in there, this group think, like BLM or the Democrat Party or some politician who benefits from divisiveness. They're the ones that stir up all the trouble. But you get individuals talking to each other, and you'd be surprised how much you can accomplish. Well, I posted in there as well and made a couple of comments. Nothing about, oh, I hate black people. See, that's where they come from. As soon as you ask a question or as soon as you challenge something, well, you're a racist. Why do you hate black people? I mean, that's all they go on. They don't know anything else about me. They don't know how I treat people. But they assume because I said something that they didn't like, I must be a racist. And you've been there. You've experienced it. They don't, not for one brief moment do they consider actually answering your question. They just call you a racist and move on. Well, that may work for them, but it doesn't deal with the issue. And the issue, one of the issues, as far as I'm concerned, in this particular case is, why do black people keep killing black people? Now, they'll scream racism at the drop of a hat. It doesn't even have to be real racism, but they'll call it that. And it's always, about what the white man is doing to them. But you never hear them talk about the record number of black people that kill each other every year. Now, in this Facebook page article, that gets pointed out by me and a couple other people. And rather than address that issue, they come back with a response like, yeah, well, white people kill each other too. Duh. That's not the point, dumbass. That's not what we were talking about. Number one, when white people kill white people, and I'll get to some numbers here in a minute, so bear with me. When white people kill white people, they don't immediately claim, oh, systemic racism. It's racism. They just hate black people. They just love going around killing black people. It's some redneck from out in the country driving into town in his pickup truck with a Confederate battle flag flying from the back, and he's just shooting every brother he sees standing on a corner. White people don't do that. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you don't want to hear it, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal. I know you don't want to think about it. But that's not one of the issues. Secondly, look at the numbers. And I'm going to. More black people in this country are killed by other black people than they are by the police and than they are by white people combined. It's not even close. But you're going to sit there, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal, and you're going to lose your mind over the fact that some white guy is going to ask you to give him a reason why black people keep killing each other. You're not even going to try to deal with it. You're not going to try to address it. You're not going to try to get to the root of the problem and figure it out and try to understand why it happens and what needs to be done to fix it. Now, see, here's where I'm coming from. Now, for the liberals out there, and I know you don't want to believe this. I know you don't give a shit. But I don't care what your skin color is. I think it's stupid to just go around killing each other over things like territory, wearing the wrong colors, who's selling drugs to whom. Pick a reason. Just going around randomly and willy-nilly killing people. And then you're going to blame everything that goes wrong in your life on racism. I'm telling you, it ain't white people you need to worry about. And as soon as you come to grips with that, as soon as you're willing to look at it and address it and deal with it, things will get better. Until then, excuse me, constantly blaming it on other people is not going to fix the problem. But let's look at some numbers, all right? Now, this is from USA Today, dated 9/29/2020. So it's September of last year. Fact check. Rates of white on white and black on black crime. All right. A viral theme, excuse me. No, that's meme. I need better glasses. A viral meme purports to list homicide statistics by race in the United States as follows. Okay. Rate of white on white and black on black are similar at around 80 and 90%. Okay. White on white people killing each other. Black on black people killing each other. It didn't say whites killing blacks. It ain't talking about blacks killing whites. It's talking about white on white crime and black on black crime. Now, you can look up the FBI statistics on crime if you want to. I know some of you still trust the FBI. I could sit here, I suppose, and do all your homework for you, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal, But you really need to do some of this on your own and stop counting on other people to tell you what's going on. How many people, how many black Americans, and see, this is what really perturbs me. I'm talking about American citizens killing each other for no damn reason. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It helps nobody. It benefits nobody. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care what neighborhood you live in. I don't care about your politics. It's just plain stupid. And it needs to stop. But rather than deal with it, you'd rather blame someone else. Just go on your computer and type in FBI crime statistics, and you can whittle it down from there. Black on black crime, white on white crime, black on white, white on black. And then when you're finished, you tell me who is more dangerous to a black American, a white person or another black person. Guys, you can be mad at me if you want. You can call me names. You can call me a racist. You can call me whatever the hell makes you happy. But at some point, you're going to have to deal with the facts. And the fact is, a black person in the United States of America is more likely to be killed by another black person than they are by a white redneck, by a KKK member, by a police officer, or any other person of another race. It's just a fact. And this isn't me making this stuff up. You can look it up yourself. Or do you even dare look it up? Are you afraid of what you might find? Is that why you don't? Is that why it's just easier to call me or someone else a racist and move on rather than actually do some homework and figure out that, you know what? That white guy was right. It brings me no joy to point this out. I mean, how could this please anybody? I'm not going at this from the standpoint of, well, I'm white and you're black, I'm right and you're wrong. I'm coming at it from the standpoint of Americans are killing fellow Americans, and there's no damn reason for it. It's just stupid. But you're going to sit there and pretend like Black Lives Matter gives a shit about black lives. Well, if they do, why aren't they picketing outside of Planned Parenthood? How many black babies are killed every year in Planned Parenthood clinics? You can look that one up too if you dare to. Now, if it was white people saying, well, we need to get rid of all these black babies because black babies grow up to be black adults and we can't have more of them around. You put it in those terms, and I bet you people would be beating down the door to get into Planned Parenthood and set that place on fire. But you don't want to think about that, do you? Pick a major city in the United States of America. I keep using Chicago, but you could go to New York, Baltimore, St. Louis, Los Angeles. Pick one. Look at the crime statistics from that city. Look at the number of black people killed in those cities every year. Then look at who's killing them. Now, I know you're going to want to focus on the police. You're going to want to focus on some redneck Ku Klux Klan member. They ain't the ones killing black folks. Not in the numbers that you like to think they are. So, yeah, you can point it out and say, well, white people kill white people too. Well, sure they do. They're stupid on both sides. You think black people have a monopoly on stupid? I don't. I know plenty of stupid white people. How about you? Do you know any stupid white people? So these attempts at deflecting and changing the argument and throwing red herrings out there and just pretending that something else is the issue. It's not helping anything. It's not fixing anything. And again, be mad at me if you want to. I'm not the one riding out around downtown shooting people. I'm not killing any black folks. I'm not advocating for anyone to kill any black folks. Are you? How quick are you to say, well, they should shoot that? Pick a reason. I'm not doing it. I don't know any white people that are doing it. And I know lots of white people. But we're not the ones riding around through Gilpin Court and Jackson Ward and Chicago and Baltimore and other places shooting black people. Come to think of it, I haven't even shot any white people. I must be behind the curve on this one. So yeah, these sort of things just irritate me because it's all it requires is a little critical thinking. It doesn't even take a lot. You don't have to be a super genius. I'm not. You don't have to have a PhD in psychiatry. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. Just think a little bit. If black people being killed really bothers you, black America, then what are you doing about it? I mean, aside from blaming the police or aside from blaming the KKK, which, by the way, is at its lowest ebb ever in the history of this country. And do you know why? Because both white and black know that the KKK is a bunch of Neanderthals, because they know those people are full of shit and they don't like them and they don't like what they stand for. Black and white. I haven't met a white person yet, and again, I know lots of white people, who like anything about the KKK, period. But you want to blame everything on them. The Southern Poverty Law Center back in 2016, when Donald Trump won his election, and everybody was screaming about, oh, white supremacy, white power, white people, you know, it was the racists that got him elected. The Southern Poverty Law Center at that time said that the KKK, white supremacists in this country, numbered less than 8,000. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center is not some bastion of conservative thinking. If you don't believe me, you can go to their website yourself. And they even said less than 8,000 nationwide. Well, you're going to tell me that less than 8,000 people nationwide stirred up all this racial hatred and animosity towards blacks again, and they're the ones that got Donald Trump elected? But again, you don't want to think about it, do you? Because that flies in the face of the narrative you've been told that you want to hate, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. I know, I've seen it, I've heard it. You want to hate. You don't even want to try to find common ground. You don't even want to think about how we got where we are as a nation, as a culture, as a race. It's just easier to hate. It's easier to point your finger at those guys over there and blame someone else for your problems. Well, let's have that discussion. Let's have that frank and open dialogue on race relations in this country. But let's not have it with politicians or activists who benefit from divisiveness. Let's have it with just regular citizens who care about their fellow Americans, no matter what their skin color is. Can you do that? Are you capable of it? I'm willing to have that conversation. I don't care who you are. I'll talk to you about it. But if all you want to do when we have that conversation is start screaming racism every time someone says something you don't agree with, or they say something you don't like to hear, or they say something you don't want to think about, then we're never going to fix anything. And as my grandparents used to say, you need to clean up your own house before you go telling other people how to clean theirs up. When you show me, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal, Mr. and Mrs. BLM, Mr. and Mrs. Antifa, whoever you are, when you show me that you're willing to work to stop the killing in the black community, which is where the real problem is, which is where more blacks are killed every year you're going to lose me. I mean, because you're showing me you're not really serious about fixing the problem. That you just find it easier to blame someone else. So anyway, just had to get that off my chest today. And again, look it up, guys. FBI crime statistics. Don't believe me. I challenge you. Don't believe me. Look it up yourself. Find it for yourself. Quit counting on other people to do your homework for you and then tell you what to think. Do it yourself. Because if you're honest, objective, truthful, when you see these statistics, you're going to understand where the problem is. And it ain't with a bunch of racist rednecks. All right? I want you to think about it. Do some homework. And then get back to me. I want to hear from you in the comments section. Tell me where I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong. But don't just, call names and label everybody you don't like a racist. Give me some facts. Give me something that I can put my teeth into and say, well, yeah, all right, he's got a good point there. Yeah, I hadn't considered that. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm capable of doing that. I don't know if you are. Anyway, have a good weekend.